Right now at 6 o'clock, a serious issue here in Connecticut. It's happening way too often. Another pedestrian hit while crossing the street. Brooke Griffin will join us with the latest.
And a shooting in broad daylight not far from a school in Hartford. This left one man dead after slamming into another vehicle. What we know from police this morning.
I take like 5 major medications, and they're very important to me.
A shortage of albuterol sparking a lot of concern in people who need it the most. We'll tell you what's being done to make sure they get that all-important medication.
Fox 61, Connecticut's news station, begins with a Weather Watch alert.
Good morning. Happy Friday, everyone. Thanks for being with us here at Fox 61, America Areas.
And I'm Tim Lammers. Good morning. Yes, we begin the morning on a Weather Watch alert for some wintry precipitation that is going to be starting later tonight. And as it turns out, it's really just the first of a 1-2 punch we're going to get over the next 3 to 4 days.
The first thing I want to say this morning, and let me try that again. The first thing I don't want to say this morning is maybe a 1-2-3 punch.
Oh, okay. All right.
You don't want to say that.
No, but I did.
Well, then
then don't say it. Good morning.
Right.
She's not wrong. Good morning to you. Let's one at a time. All right. Let's talk about this very fluid system coming in, and fluid because the computer guidance models all over the place all week long. One thing is for certain, we're looking at a dry day today. The snow's still going to develop later on this evening. Now, at first, the snow and rain is not going to stick. Temperatures too warm, but it will overnight. And depending on where you are, and not just in location, but in elevation, will certainly determine what you get. Here comes this system. It certainly looks impressive. I told you it was going to get its act together, but the heart of the storm is actually still going to track down to the south. And as a result, as it does, it will keep more snow off towards the western side of the state. We're looking at 2-3 inches higher elevations, may get 4, and even a possibility of 5 inches just over the border, mainly into the Albany capital region. Meanwhile, at the shoreline and the rest of the state, it's a coating to an inch or two, mainly on grass. Temperatures in the 20s to 32 right now. The winds have finally calmed down for the most part. First time this week. 27 now, 48 later on, cloudy. It's warm. How can you get snow with 48? Well, we are, and there may be another round or 2 on the way. We'll talk about that in the 7-day coming up. 6:02, let's go to the roads. Good morning, Lauren Zinzi.
Good morning to you, Matt Scott. Hopefully you're having a good day so far. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. We've made it to the end of the work week. Congratulations. All right, we do have one crash that we had a couple of hours ago. This was right near Sisson Avenue, exit 48 on the eastbound side of I-84. Sisson Avenue exit 46 is still closed at this time. This is because a car went into the sand barriers, and unfortunately, when they have to remove the sand barriers, they have to close the exit for safety purposes. So the DOT is out there working to get these sand barriers put back in place so traffic can move smoothly. Over in Waterbury, construction has cleared on I-84. New Haven drive time's not looking too bad. And lastly, let's end with a live look out in Bridgeport and New Haven. Some very light volume out there on 95 and 91. We'll check back in on the roads coming up at 6:30. For now, Tim and Erica, good morning to you.
Lauren, good morning. Well, Hamden police are investigating after they said somebody hit a pedestrian, causing some serious injuries.
And this is the 3rd pedestrian hit just this week. We're checking in with Fox 61's Brooke Griffin. She's live in Hamden with more details. Brooke, good morning.
Well, good morning to you both. This is a topic that I've been covering pretty closely this week across the state. Earlier, a couple of days ago, we did have 2 pedestrians hit, and now another one hit again last night. It's been a pretty tragic week in Connecticut with something that just keeps happening. Hamden police say that the accident happened around 7 o'clock last night on Dixwell Avenue between Concord Street and Lexington Streets. They had the area blocked off for several hours while an investigation was conducted. Hamden Mayor Lauren Garrett confirms the accident was a car versus pedestrian, but we don't have any word on that victim's condition or if the suspect stayed on scene to cooperate with police when they arrived. Our crews on scene last night say there were shoes lying in the road on that scene and at least 12 Hamden police cars in the area during that initial investigation. This is one of 3 different car versus pedestrian accidents in Connecticut just this week. There was also a fatal auto ped in Waterbury on Wednesday evening and a car versus pedestrian that left a person with serious injuries in Bridgeport on Monday. Both of these were determined to be a a hit and run. And again, we are still waiting on the specifics of what happened here in this Hamden case last night. I do have a call out to Hamden police. I'm just waiting to hear back. I'll get that information out to you and get that update as soon as I can. Live in Hamden, Brooke Ruffin, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Brooke, thanks so much. Yeah, been a rough week. Well, 6:05 now, the search is on for the person responsible in a fatal shooting in Hartford yesterday. It happened in broad daylight. According to Hartford police, investigators say 28-year-old Carl Patterson died at the hospital after someone shot at his car 5 times on Baltimore Street. He then crashed his car into another one near Albany Avenue and Woodland Street. And all of this happening as kids were getting out of school just around the corner. The investigation is still ongoing at this time.
A Waterbury man is facing charges in connection to a deadly hit and run. Herbert Cusacco is accused of hitting 30-year-old Jamar Dillard at the intersection of Meriden and Pierpont Roads Wednesday night. Police said Cusacco then left the scene. Well, police said they eventually found him and arrested him on a number of charges, including evading responsibility. Dillard was taken to the hospital and died early Thursday morning. Now, police said more charges are expected because Dillard died.
The Stonington community remembered a beloved local custodian after he was killed in a hit and run on Monday night. 70-year-old Gary Piver was a longtime worker at Stonington High, and he was tragically killed in a hit and run on South Broad Street. Flowers and a bicycle in memory of Piver are now placed in the area where the crash happened. The tragedy striking up a serious conversation about bike safety.
It could have been prevented with better bike infrastructure, with a bridge, a pedestrian bridge could have been built here, better signage.
Police announced late yesterday that they did find the car they believe the suspect used in the crash, but no word yet on if they found the suspect or made any arrests.
Well, today, Hartford Hospital and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration are teaming up to launch a hopefully life-saving rear seatbelt use campaign. Starting today and running until the end of the month, the pilot project is designed to try to remind as many Connecticut drivers as possible of the dangers of riding without a seatbelt, especially in the back seat.
Also happening today, Governor Ned Lamont is going to team up with the Transportation Commissioner to launch a new public awareness campaign on the dangers of wrong-way driving. Now, this event is going to be held near an off-ramp of I-84 in Southington. The DOT recently installed technology there that senses when a driver enters from the wrong direction. Now, they plan on installing that same technology in dozens of other locations all across the state this year. All right, to Shelton now, where police arrested these 2 parents Thursday. They're accused of serving alcohol to minors at a party. Police say it all happened at a party where a teenager was stabbed to death in Shelton. 59-year-old Paul and 51-year-old Susanna Leffer were arrested. It was at their home where police say the fight broke out. 17-year-old Raul Valley is accused of bringing a switchblade and then stabbing 17-year-old Jimmy McGrath with it. McGrath died at Bridgeport Hospital. Valley is facing a murder charge. The parents are due back in court in April.
Well, today at the Capitol, there will be a public hearing forced by Republican leaders to talk about the state's truck tax. Republicans want it gone because they say the trickle-down effect of the tax will be felt just about everywhere by everybody. Governor Lamont has said that he stands by the tax to help support transportation projects across the state. Now, that public hearing is set for 2 p.m. at the Legislative Office Building in Hartford. Well, good news from the SPCA of Connecticut. All of the animals here have found new homes after the shelter was forced to close its doors. Thursday, the shelter announced they were overwhelmed with over 700 applications and are working with 15 local no-kill shelters to make sure that none of the animals will be put down. The community, stepped up to help in a big way after learning of the closing. Originally, the shelter was looking for homes for 20 dogs and 13 cats. And again, some of those animals have found really, really nice homes.